So many times I was like, what am I even doing this for? Like, it's so stressful. It's because you genuinely don't know where to start. You can Google as much as you want, but some phone calls were not getting picked up. I was getting rejected. Some of them, I would tell them that I'm starting up. They would hang up the phone on me and saying, like, we don't work with small businesses. They wouldn't even give you the time of day. Some emails, you wouldn't even get a response back, or they'll say, we're closed at the moment. And it was just really difficult.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Master Achievement Podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here. Sumaya is the founder of Klas Cosmetics, and I'm so excited to have her here. She reached out to me last week.
Yeah.
We jumped on a call. Our synergies were so aligned.
So aligned.
I love her energy. I love her story. And we're here making it happen.
Amazing. Thank you so much for getting back to me. You know, I was really excited when I heard back, and as soon as I met you, I'm like, this is it. I knew we were going to align, and once we aligned and it was like confirmed, it was just very exciting to, proceed and have me here.
Yes, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that
later
in this episode. But I wanted to start off with Klas Cosmetics and the origin story, how you came up with it. It's something that you founded during COVID.
Yes.
Which it was like one of the toughest times for many, but I feel was also a very opportunistic time for a lot of people as well. So
absolutely,
for you, definitely a time where these ideas flourished and eventuated. So what was that moment for you that went, F this, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go all in.
So I like to keep myself busy. I'm very energetic, and, being in lockdown was very, very difficult. I felt like I was very restricted. There's no human connection or anything like that. We're locked down in the house. So I was over the exercise. I was overeating. And, the one thing that made me feel like myself again was putting makeup on, because it ignited my creativity. And I really enjoyed that. And, I was putting it on. I was scrolling on TikTok, and I wanted essentially to do it myself, to do the makeup myself, like cook it myself.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, back then you were able to go to Bunnings and just
buy all the raw material.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I did it, and it failed because I had no idea what I was doing, but it was fun. And then, I thought, why not just do it so it started as a fun hobby. Why not do it as a fun hobby and see where I can go from there? And, I started looking more into it, like, how can I get a supplier, especially where everything was locked down, weren't able to leave the houses. So I had to really reach out by phone and by emails, and there was a lot of rejections there.
Yes. I can imagine.
So it was very difficult, essentially. But then I was just like, what do I have to lose? We're in lockdown anyway. I want to keep myself busy. I want to challenge myself and do something different, but something that I'm also passionate about and something that resonates with me. And that's how it came about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about that, because I feel like when so many people have ideas.
Yes.
And then they start doing the research.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, there's actually 100,000 other companies with a similar idea or whatever to me. And people get really turned off by that.
Yes.
And then also when you go into the research phase of like, okay, now let's reach out to suppliers, but where do I start? It can be really overwhelming.
Totally. It was beyond overwhelming.
Yeah.
So many times I was like, what am I even doing this for? Like, it's so stressful. It's because you genuinely don't know where to start. You can Google as much as you want, but some phone calls were not getting picked up. I was getting rejected. Some of them, I would tell them that I'm starting up. They would hang up the phone on me and saying, like, we don't work with small businesses. They wouldn't even give you the time of day. Some emails, you wouldn't even get a response back, or they'll say, we're closed at the moment. And it was just really difficult. And I started in Australia first. And then I said, okay, why am I restricting myself in that small bubble? Let me see what else is out there. And I started reaching to suppliers, internationally as well, to find a company that will resonate the most with me. And I was lucky enough to finally find one, but I had to try so many different samples from so many different companies because I have high standards and I will not sell anything I wouldn't buy myself. because
Yeah.
I want you to love it as much as I do, and I want it to be authentic.
But did you have a like, man, I'm just even thinking if I started a cosmetics brand, where would I even start? Like the kind of do you call it chemicals or the products or the
So you
products that you
have
put
to
in it, the ingredients?
totally. You have to
Yeah.
decide which way you want to go, because not to say one is better than the other,
Mm.
everybody has a preference. So at the start, I had to decide, do I just want just the normal all ingredients that may
Mm.
contain chemical, or do I want something that's more vegan and cruelty free? And I went with vegan and cruelty free because that resonated with me a
Mm.
lot more. And I sometimes do get sensitive skin, or I get rashes here and there.
Yeah.
So I just want something that will sit nicely, look good, and be harmless,
Yeah.
especially because there are a lot of people out there that do have that sensitivity, and I can see what chemicals, how much harm they can do to the body. So that's the route that I went for. But as soon as I decided on that, then I had to do the research on suppliers. And then when I finally received some calls, then you have to order the samples and you have to register an ABN as well.
Yeah.
So they can credit you as, an actual business. So they're able to provide you with the right price point.
Yeah.
And then you have to take into consideration your logo, what your business name is going to be. You have to set everything up before you even start the process, because once you
Mm.
start the process and you get the ball rolling, then you have to think how the brand name is going to be printed on the products. How do you want it to be showcased? Do you want to have the whole name, Klas Cosmetics, or do you just want to have, just Klas on there? And there's so many different factors that do contribute with that. And yeah, it was a process, but I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So it was great. It was great. And at times, I thought to myself, like, is this going to be worth it? But I was willing to take the risk because you won't know unless you try. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
beautiful. That's beautiful. And the thing with COVID, which I found to be the trend, is so many people had ideas.
Yes.
So many people launched ideas because they had the time. They didn't have
Mm,
anything to do, as you just said.
yeah.
But then once everything became a reality again, once things became, went back to normal,
Yeah.
that idea that they had just kind of got lost in the
Yeah.
ether. But you've been able to continue that. And if
Yes.
anything, you've quit your full-time job, you've gone full into Klas Cosmetics. So what do you think makes you and your brand something that was able to sustain that rather than just this COVID business trend?
So when you're passionate about something and it resonates with you and you hold so much value in it, it's really hard to let it go.
Yeah.
Because especially when you have really strong self-belief, like, I know I can do this. But I also did struggle with that because
Mm.
when I launched it in COVID, when we came out of COVID, I hosted a big launch party, and it was very successful. And I funded the whole thing from
Mm.
from my savings. And it was great. I had a photographer, we had some drinks, I had all my amazing friends there that came to support, and it was fantastic. And then after that, once we got the ball rolling, we went into the longest lockdown. No one was buying makeup. So
Yeah.
it was a real struggle. I was on social media a lot, trying to navigate TikTok for the first time, with posting and whatnot, especially being a 90s kid.
Yeah.
I was like, this is all new
Still
to
don't get
me.
TikTok.
Yeah. It's so much fun. It's got a lot of fun videos, but to get the hang of it slowly when trying to teach it yourself, to add an additional skill on top of what you're already doing can become a little bit overwhelming as well.
Mm.
So we went into the longest lockdown, and then when they opened up and we were slowly going back into the real world, they still asked us to wear the masks and whatnot. So makeup was not really selling at that point.
Yeah.
But I had to make a choice. Either I just throw in the towel and say, it is what it is, this is not for me, or I can say, you know what, I've come this far. I know it has so much potential. I know I can resonate with a lot of people with my messaging for the brand, because it's not just about the product.
Mm.
And that gave me the motivation to push through. And every time I feel like giving up, I remind myself of why I even started, what my mission statement is, and that kept me going.
Yeah.
And the only way to give it 110% is for you, the founder, to be involved in it completely, because no one else will understand your vision or feel the power behind why you even started it except for you.
But what do you say? Because there are so many people, I know so many
Yeah.
people who have started off that way.
Yeah.
There is, I personally find like the why probably hasn't been deep enough, or
Yeah.
the founder is not connected to the why on the deepest level for it to
Yeah.
sustain. But even then, when someone is still working through their why or their
Yeah.
foundational pillar of like, you know, what is my driving force behind this, they're still like held back by intense fear, intense doubt. Like,
Yeah.
how are you someone who just naturally goes, nah, I don't really feel this? Or was
Yeah.
it something that you really genuinely felt? And, you know, because it's all good to say,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I either go ahead
Yeah.
or I don't go ahead.
Totally.
But that feeling of fear and doubt is so strong.
We all have fear. We
Yeah.
all have doubt, like regardless of how amazing someone is or how strong-minded you are. But you have to be able to navigate through that fear. You have to overcome it, because fear is just a projection of what we think others are going to think of us. Is it cringe? Oh my God, what if no one supports me? What if it fails and I've embarrassed myself? You know, you get all these thoughts, and that's what generates fear. But you just have to push through those feelings. And the
But
only
how
way to
did you
push
push through it?
through actions.
Yeah.
I had to put myself out there. The more I put myself out there, the more fear, reduced, or felt like it was non-existent to some point. And every time I'm out of my comfort zone, trying something different, I do get that fear. But then I'm like, I have to be out of my comfort zone. I have to push through. I have to grow mentally. I have to, be open to those new experiences that are going to allow me to grow. And I feel like a lot of people that maybe got to that stage, sometimes we allow our emotions to take control. And then maybe we feel like we're not good enough, or we listen too much to the outside noise.
Yeah.
I had so many people tell me, it's oversaturated. Why are you doing makeup? How can you compete with the big companies like L'Oreal and Fenty and, all these other amazing brands? And I'm like, there's a piece of pie for everyone. Like, we can all share it. There's money for everyone to go around. Like, nothing is restricted. Just because someone did it doesn't mean you can't do it. We all have a different energy. We have different vibes. We have a different messaging. So the way we're able to connect with others is completely different. And that's what makes you stand out. That's what makes you shine. I might resonate with purchasing Fenty Beauty, for example, but you might come to me and say, well, actually, I prefer Rare Beauty. And that's completely fine, but it's just what resonates with you more, and that's how I see it. And that's what I remind myself. And I'm like, no one is you, and that is your power, and just keep going. And that goes back to my mission statement. Like, someone who's unapologetically themselves, you just have to do it, and you can't give up on yourself.
But how there's a difference between saying that, like saying it from a logical point of view, like I
Totally.
know that I'm an individual, there's only one of me, and then there's another thing to actually truly feel and embody and be aligned with that, which is something that I feel energetically from you. You're just like,
Yes.
I know that I'm one of one.
Yeah.
So for me personally, it was something that has taken me years,
Yeah.
like probably to this year, I would say,
Yeah.
where I'm going, there is only actually one of Steph.
Yeah.
So again, did that come naturally to you? Or like, how can you say that so, like, with such conviction, with such confidence?
I think because it's how I grew up. I've always been like that as a younger kid.
Yeah.
I was very blessed to grow up with a very supportive, family, especially my parents. They were always, allowing us to have the freedom to think for ourselves and to be who we are, like dress how we like and think how we like. They never restricted us to be a certain way or confine us in like a small box and say, no, this is how you need to live your life. So I think that really helped nurture who we were. And I think when you're young, that does play a huge impact. And that's how I've grown up to be. And that's why I've always been so confident. And that's my messaging to everyone. That's how I want everyone to feel. You do have something special about you. We all have a gift that we have been given. We just need to tap into it and sit in the silence to know what it is about us that makes us feel so special that we can share with the world. Because we're all unique. No matter how much someone can say, but I don't have anything special, you do, I promise you. And I can bring it out of you and I can tell you what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you can just feel it. So I think because I lived like that my whole life, it just comes like second nature. And also I've got a lot of pride. So even though sometimes that could be, you know, frustrating at times, but it really does motivate me and push me like, no, I have to do this. I said I was going to do it. I have to keep that promise to myself. But that also builds confidence.
Yeah.
When you keep the promise to yourself, it builds confidence. Anything you say you're going to do, you just need to do it. And regardless of the outcome, take that pressure off. At least you tried. Some people don't even try. So you're already one step ahead.
Yeah. And the key thing that you just said there, which so many people don't do, is taking the action.
Yes. It's scary.
Yeah. Because the action is where you get clarity. But so many people are stuck in that trap of preparation,
Totally.
research, you know, how like staying in that sample phase,
Totally.
never actually putting the first version of the launch or the first version of the product out there.
Oh my God. If I show you my website when I first launched, you'd be like, there's no way. I don't even know how I got sales at the start, genuinely. But then again, I just had to take action. I was overthinking. I was like, is this good enough? Do I do this? I took my own photos. Mind you, the photos that I posted on my website had my hand in it holding the product because I didn't.
One hand was holding the product and the other hand was
literally. And I was like, that's my, you know, that's the lipstick and that's what it's called. But when I started, I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And we were in lockdown and I've never started a business before. And I really wanted to do it for myself. But I think looking back at it now, I'm like, you know what? I'm proud of myself for even trying.
Yeah.
I did the website myself and, you know, the photos and everything and, you know, the posting on social media. Now, when I look at my photos back then compared to now, I was like, what were you thinking? But I just tried. I had to take the leap. I had to, you know, put one foot in front of the other and say, I'm just going to do it. And it is what it is. And whatever comes with it, because you're going to learn along the way. You're never going to get it right from the first time. You're never going to say, this is incredible. I know exactly what I'm doing. It's going to be successful, done deal. And then you just stop there. The trends is always changing. You have to adapt. You have to be agile. You have to be resilient. You just have to push through and keep going and say, okay, I'm in a new era now. Amazing. How can I reflect how I am now? Let's, you know, implement that and let's find the right people that will connect with you to help you get to that level.
I love that so much because I think about the evolution of this podcast. Even, you know, like I remember when I had the idea to do this, I didn't even know what it was called. Like originally it was called I'm Figuring It Out because I was figuring it out, you know, and even I got so caught up on the design of the thumbnail. Like I'm talking days, weeks, and it got to a point where I was so sick of myself just in this ideation phase of like, what's perfect? Is this good enough? Do I use this font? Do I use this color? Do I use this, you know, how do I want it to look? How do I want the show notes to be, you know, written? Like, and I'm just thinking at that moment, I was like, I need to decide all this because it's going to be a forever thing. It's like, no, the podcast has evolved. The name has changed. Even I have gone through, I'm not even kidding, like 7 different thumbnails.
And that's fine.
Published on Spotify. But in my head, I was like, what if I keep changing, people are going to think that I'm being inconsistent.
No.
It's like, no, you're actually being consistent because you continue to show up and grow.
And people actually appreciate that more and respect it more because they value the hustle behind it. Like, oh my God, she's trying. Because I could be sitting there watching, you know, or listening to your Spotify or looking at your thumbnails and thinking to myself, wow, like she's really putting herself out there and really doing it. I wish I can do the same, but it could be inspiring for someone. So
100%.
we all start somewhere and we keep going with those thumbnails.
It's fine. We're up to version like 8 now.
I love it. I love it.
Take us back to that first moment. I know you kind of touched a little bit on it. It's COVID. Like if we were a fly on the wall, it's COVID. You have this idea. You're calling all these different suppliers.
Yes.
Like literally run through the behind the scenes of that? Where do you even find the numbers for these people?
God.
What are you even saying to them?
I didn't know what to say. I'm laughing because I remember my first phone call going like, "Hi, my name is Sumaya. I'm starting cosmetics brand. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm hoping you can help me. What are my steps?" And he's like, "Okay, maybe when you figure that out, you can call me back."
Oh my
Bang.
God.
And I was like, "Oh my God." And then I remember going out to my dad going like, "Oh my God, he just hung up on me." Like I took such offense because I was like, I thought he was going to help me, like what's going on. And then
Yeah.
slowly, slowly, it makes you realize what kind of questions you want to ask. So then I'm very old school. So I had my notebook, my pen,
Yeah.
and I just started researching cosmetics, suppliers in Australia. At first, I started in Melbourne, and then it was very limited. And then I started in the whole of Australia.
Mm.
And I was able to, some of them do have their contact number on their website, some of them don't. You can send an email, and others, you have to fill out like a form.
The form, yeah.
And you're restricted with the description that you can apply. And I'm like, oh, I don't know where to go,
Yeah.
because they'll ask you for minimum order quantity. They'll ask you where you're based, when you're launching, what your budget is, which I had no idea. I didn't know what my budget is. I didn't know what my MOQ is, minimum order quantity. I just knew that I wanted to start something, and I just wanted someone to just take the risk with me and just allow me to try. And I'm a very honest person, so I was very honest with the interactions that I was able to get from there and say, look, it's my first time. I can't go with a large MOQ because I don't know how this is going to go. It might blow up and be great, and I can continue an order with you, or
Yeah.
I might tank it and it might not work, and I'll be stuck with, all these products.
5,000.
Totally. Per one unit. I was like, 5,000 per one unit. The one shade. I can't have just the one shade and say, everybody buy a red shade.
Bedroom. It's just lip liners, lip liners, lip liners.
Exactly. So yeah, it was a real struggle in Australia, in Melbourne, and that's why my first supplier was actually from Canada. It wasn't from Australia. Yeah. I was able to get a supplier from Australia. They were located in Adelaide from memory. I just didn't really resonate with the product quality.
Yeah.
They were amazing, but I just didn't feel like it resonated with my values, my name, and everything else. I
Yeah.
wanted those standards to be set.
Yep.
And then, I found another few suppliers in America and Canada that were willing to assist. And then after trying the samples and making my family members try the samples, I'm like, how do you feel?
Yeah.
And then I ended up, just
How
going
many
with it.
calls do you think you made?
Oh my God. I probably made
And
about
emails.
like 50 to 100, if not more. I was just calling nonstop. But then again, I have a background in sales, guys. So rejection is part of the game. You get used to it. You don't take offense to it. You're just like, okay, didn't work with that person. Maybe there's a sign. I'll go with the next one.
Out of 50 to 100 outreaches, what percentage of them were rejections, would you say?
They were all rejections. I only got 5 that were willing
Wow.
to support.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not easy. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it was amazing and I got rejected, but I got someone. It was really difficult, to be honest. And a lot of the times you feel, like, this is not for you. Like, what am I doing this for? Like, they don't even want to work with me. They want to work with bigger companies. But then I kept fighting with myself. How can they only want to grow or work with bigger companies when I'm trying to be a big company? Like, help me out first and we'll get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was really difficult. Like, I had all of them as rejections and I only had 5. And out of the 5, I stuck with one. And then when I stuck with that one, obviously, when you're importing from overseas to Australia, you also have to pay taxes on top of the taxes that you're paying when you sell the product. So I had import tax and then selling tax, and everything was adding up. And I had already set my pricing because I didn't want it in the luxury aspect, and I also didn't want it in the lower price range. I just wanted that middle price range where you're getting good quality for the value that you're receiving.
Yeah.
And then recently I've pivoted, and I was thankful. I went back to my paper and pen and kept researching more suppliers in Australia, and thank God I found one, and their customer service is incredible. I'm besties with her now. And, she's been very supportive, and I think having that as well, like, added that extra motivation, and I was able to pivot my brand
Mm.
and just grow it from there because, I do love Australian ingredients and I love our compliance and everything else that comes with it. So,
And I think that's key, right?
yeah,
The key is, actually said this on my stories yesterday. It's like, you don't have to have, out of the 10 people or out of the
yeah,
100
totally.
businesses or brands that you talk to, that you could potentially work with,
Mm,
100 people don't need to say yes, but you just
absolutely.
need that one
Just one.
perfect yes
Yeah.
that is so aligned,
Mm-hmm.
that gets you,
Totally.
if you just stick it out. And that's actually one thing that my coach has put in me as well. You just need that one yes from that
Yes.
one perfect aligning client
Absolutely.
for everything to change for you.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to stick it out through the 99 no's,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it is worth it because
Mm-hmm.
there is someone and a brand or a business that is
Yeah.
literally out there with a problem that only you can solve,
Absolutely.
but you just haven't crossed paths yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't mean that your idea doesn't work. You just haven't crossed paths with this
You just
person
have
or
to
this
find your
brand.
people.
Yeah.
You have to keep looking until you find your people
Yes.
because there are people out there that share the same mindset, share the same values, and that's how I found you.
Yeah.
Literally, you
Yeah.
came on I was scrolling and came on my reels and I was like, "Oh my God." Like loved your energy, loved your
Yeah.
conversations, loved everything and I said, "This resonates so much with my brand." And I believe like what your coach said, you have to stay aligned and true to who you are for others
100%.
to align with you.
Yep.
For the people to be able to find you as well because if you're throwing yourself just here, there and everywhere for the sake of it, you'll take a lot longer to find your direction. So,
Yep.
and that's how I found you. And I said, I have to send the message. I'm going to take the leap. I'm going to take the risk.
Yeah.
And if it happens, it happens. If she doesn't respond, then it is what it is.
And
At least
for
I tried.
context, everyone. So Samaya reached out to me and she
Yeah.
was like, I really love your energy. I love what this podcast is about.
Totally.
Are you open to collaborating? And I was like, hell yeah. Like, let's
Yeah.
let's jump on a call to see
Yeah, exactly.
if we align, first of all. But again, in that moment for me,
Yeah.
because I have been on the receiving end of it, where I
Yeah.
have reached out to so many people to collaborate, not even getting a response back.
Yeah.
I know how it feels. And so that has shaped my mindset and my ethos in how I like to work, like responding, not responding, like
Absolutely.
whatever it is. And in that moment, it just so happened to be that, I saw it, I aligned, let's make something happen.
Totally.
And that moment is all you need.
Totally. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there like just refreshing. I'm like, did she see my message? Did she see my message?
It was seen. It was tweeted. That's
No, but I'm so glad. I'm so glad we connected. Honestly, I really did love your energy. And even when we were talking on the call, I was like, oh my God. And we live so close to each other. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, everything's aligning the way it's meant to. And
Yeah.
It's been great.
See, guys, you just got to keep trying.
I agree.
Honestly.
It's all in the
You just got
mind.
to keep trying.
Keep trying. She says no. It is what it is. You move on.
How do you personally reset because I've experienced this before where I've had weeks where like you're having really great conversations. You're like, there's potential for collaboration here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Everything's on a high. And the next week it's like rejection, rejection, rejection. This is not working. This person has said to you outright, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What I've had that where
Oh my
I'm in
God.
coffee catch-ups and they're like, sorry, what do you do? Like, what is your, because the space
Yeah.
that I work in is so fluid.
Totally.
And even then I leave those conversations going like, oh God, what am I doing?
Yeah.
How do you reset when I'm sure you've had those moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've had those moments. And it does make you think like, am I heading in the right direction?
Yeah.
Is my messaging not clear enough? Like, what do I need to change? And I feel like if you sit with those thoughts, you go into a spiral. So what I like to do is actually disconnect. So I just say, I'm going to leave it for a few days. I'm going to take a break. I've gotten a few rejections. That's okay. Let me just rethink how I can reapproach, but maybe in a different way. Maybe my way was not working or the way I communicated wasn't clear enough. Let me see how I can do it differently next time. So I disconnect, I reconnect with nature, I go on walks, I distract myself a little bit. I go out with friends, have dinner, socialize, and it naturally comes to you.
Mm.
When you're in that moment of creativity and you're having a good time and your energy is flowing and you're in a positive environment, it naturally will come to you.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to me. And I'm like, oh my God, I got the perfect idea. Okay, amazing. Let me pivot. Let me try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
And
how
I
I
think
like to do.
that's the key, which is leaning into
Mm.
the season or the moment that you're in.
Yeah.
Like my client the other day, for example, she it was actually I heard the message because I like to send a lot of voice messages to my clients who I'm coaching, and she's just like, Steph, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I doing
Aw.
like breaking down, full
Yeah.
breaking down, and me, I just want to fix it.
Absolutely.
I want to send something that's going to reframe her mindset, that's going
Yeah.
to get her out of that funk. But then also, that wouldn't be serving the moment that she's
Correct.
in.
Yes.
Sometimes you just got to be fully in the season. If you're in the low, let yourself be in the lowest of the lowest
You
of
have
the
to.
lows. Because
You'll you'll learn the best lessons being in that low. It's
100%.
okay to be there and be a listener and
Yeah.
guide. But at the end of the day, you can't help someone if they don't see it for themselves because you're not
Yeah.
going to be there forever.
100%.
They're going to go through so many different, experiences in life. They have to learn to take a step back and see it, the bigger picture, and
Yeah.
remove that emotion a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when we're so fixated on that one thing, we're like, but this happened, that happened.
And
then
when you're trying to control it.
It's the
Yeah.
control. You just have to let go. And
Yes.
the only way to let go is not by saying, I'm letting go, because that's not going to let the situation go. But you just have to disconnect and
Yeah.
do something that you've always loved to do.
Mm.
Whether it's writing, journaling, whether it's dancing, whether it's going for a run, anything, because that will remove you from that stuck energy.
Yeah.
And then it will realign you with what you actually want. And that will give you clarity about your next steps and what you'd want to do. And then you're like, you get that light bulb moment and you're like, Steph, guess what I just did today?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I just
happens
needed to...
every single time.
Totally.
When my clients in the lane, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And I just let them sit in that space. And the next day they're like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Amazing.
This is why we do what we do. But one perspective that I really like to shine a light on when it comes to these things, if you have an idea, if you have a project and you want to do something and it feels so, because we're talking about us individually, everyone being unique.
Yeah.
And of course, like, in the other episodes with Chen, he goes, your spin is your spin. There's like a million books, but every author has their own spin on the book.
Of course.
And so I always say to my clients as well, because when we're doing something and it's so personal, of course you're going to have moments where you're like, man, does anyone believe in my vision?
Yeah.
But that's also the honor, but the responsibility of a leader.
Yes.
Right? The leader is the visionary.
Totally.
Which means that your vision is going to be so different from any other thing that someone has seen.
Yes.
And so you need to be so convicted
Absolutely.
in that.
Totally. I think people get caught up in wanting to convince others to see their vision for what it is. But that's wasted energy.
Hey, quick moment before we continue. If this episode is really landing and resonating with you and you realize that you're ready to take that next level, this is your sign. I only take 5 one-on-one coaching clients at a time, and the waiting list for March 2026 is open right now. If you're tired of feeling stuck and disconnected and unfulfilled with your life, and there's so many goals and dreams and things that you want to achieve, if you feel like you're stuck in the same patterns and constantly questioning and doubting yourself and you're sick of it, you're over it, you want to change, you want to rebuild momentum so that you can have the life, the career, the business, the mindset, the leadership that you deserve, this is your sign. You can join the waiting list at www.stephanienguyen.com.au or click on the link in the show notes below to apply. All right, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah.
You need to believe in your vision and you need to go in that direction, because once you are moving forward, they will see your vision without you having to tell them. They will come. When you build it, they will come. And they
Yeah.
always do. I promise you, I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
You cannot go out there and tell everyone, this is my vision. That's what I'm going to do. It takes away from the excitement, takes away from what you're actually doing. It actually adds more pressure because you're trying to get the approval of everybody else. And that is the biggest distraction
Yeah.
because you'll never get everyone's approval. And no matter how close they are to you.
Yeah.
I believe when you have a vision, you have to just keep going forward. You have to build it. They will come. They will see it without you saying anything, and they will want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But you just have to make that move. Don't worry about everybody else
Yeah.
because they can't
I think
see
there's a
what you're seeing.
distinction there, right? It's
Yeah.
like, I don't think what you're saying is don't talk about your ideas, because
No,
obviously
you
talk
can't.
about it,
Yeah.
but don't talk about it because you want someone to justify and validate
Correct.
your idea.
Yes, that's exactly what I was
Yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah,
Perfectly said.
because I know people who they just say all the time, like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this, I'm like, okay, where is it? Like, we've been talking
Yeah,
about this for 5 years.
totally.
Where is it?
But that's why I stopped saying, I'm going to do this. Next month, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Now I'm just like, I'm going to do it first. And then I will tell you what I'm doing because it takes away from that pressure. And sometimes life happens.
Yeah.
But then if someone's holding you accountable, it makes you feel even worse than what you're already feeling because you didn't make it
Interesting
happen.
you feel that way.
Yeah.
I'm kind of I used to be like that, but I'm actually
Yeah.
a little opposite now where, because I think it's all about intention.
Totally.
I think like
Absolutely.
if I'm constantly talking about it because I just want that validation, that dopamine hit,
Yes.
then I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
But if I'm sharing it because I also want to bring excitement
Yes.
and feed life into it,
Yeah.
it's a very different intent.
Totally.
I think that's where people need to.
For sure. And you have to find what
Dig.
works for you as well because
Yeah.
everybody is different.
True.
For me, when I talk about it, I get too excited. I hype it up so much. I envision it. I'm like, this is it. But then if it doesn't go the right way or if it gets delayed or whatever it is, I don't want to explain myself and say, oh, this is why it didn't happen or have people ask me. So now I'm moving a little bit differently. Like I'll share the excitement. I'll say, oh, this is what I have going on this week. But then I won't share the whole thing. I'll share after the fact that it happened. I'll be like, oh my God, it was the best thing ever. This is what I did. So they can share that excitement and feel like it is inspiring and I can do it as well. One step at a time.
I really like that because
Yeah.
you have to understand what works for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so true.
I got
I
you.
love that. You mentioned something, one of the voices when you started the brand, which I think a lot of people get, which is like,
Mhm.
why are you doing this? It's such an oversaturated
Mhm.
market,
Mhm.
and let's be real, like there's only going to be people living longer.
Yeah, exactly.
There's going to be more people in the world.
Exactly.
Technology is going to disrupt so many industries.
Yeah.
So that the barrier to entry is so much easier.
Yeah.
It's only going to get more saturated.
Totally.
Like.
Absolutely. And that's okay.
And that's okay. People could have said, like, we should have started 20 years earlier. The market was less saturated. It's like, we can't go back in time. This is what it is.
Exactly right.
So for you starting Klas Cosmetics,
Mhm.
what is the messaging? How do you work through the noise when people are saying, oh, but makeup is such a saturated market?
At the start, it did used to affect me because I used to be like, what do you mean it's oversaturated? Like, I know you don't have to tell me. I used to take it so personal. But now I'm like, they're not doing it how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not just selling makeup. I'm not just a makeup artist and want to showcase like my brand and what I'm here for. Like my mission statement, like what is Klas essentially? Klas is like a woman who is confident, audacious, ambitious, courageous. In other words, a woman who is unapologetically herself. And that's my messaging. So when you're wearing the products, I want you to feel and shine the way you are. I don't want you to be anybody else but yourself. So anytime someone's saying, oh, I want to tag you, how do you want, the content to be? I'm like, don't ask me. I want you to be authentic. I don't want you to change who you are, but that's my messaging. So I'm not just selling you the product. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel resilient. I want you to feel like that self-love oozing out of you. I want you to celebrate your confidence with Klas because everyone deserves to be celebrated for their confidence. And I feel like in this day and age, we get shut down so much for being confident. I personally, and I'll never forget that, I went for a job interview once. It was for a store manager position. And I went through the last final interview. They flew me to Sydney for the day
Wow.
to meet with the general manager, and it was premium luxury, I would say. And the interview went so well. We connected, whatnot. A few days later, I get a call from the HR. You unfortunately didn't get the role. And in my head, I got the role because you took me all the way to Sydney, or else you could have told me from the first interview it wasn't done. And she said to me, no, unfortunately, they won't be proceeding. And I said, can I ask for feedback as to why? Maybe it's something I need to work on. Guess what her response was?
You're too confident.
That's exactly
you
what it
serious?
was. I swear to God, I have it written down on my phone
Oh my
because I
gosh.
like feedback. Like, just tell
Yeah.
me, what can I improve on? She said, you're too confident. I said to her, I didn't mean to be, rude or anything, but you're hiring a store manager. What kind of personality were you looking for?
Yeah.
How can you lead a team if you're not confident? Would you follow a leader if they weren't confident, or if they didn't have a vision, or, if they didn't know where they were going or taking the brand? No one would. I mean, I definitely wouldn't, so that took me by surprise. And
Oh my gosh.
throughout my life, it's always been like
How
that.
did she respond to that?
She said, I completely understand with what you're saying, and I agree with it. But unfortunately, the last decision is theirs, and there's not much I can do. And I wish you all the best. God bless her. She messages me every now and then. Yes. But, sometimes you go through those experiences, but being so confident, like, you always have to, I feel like, protect yourself in a way, because you're not being arrogant. You're it's just part of your personality, and it's okay. It's nice to know what you want. It's nice to, show people that it is okay to be who you are. You don't have to shy away. We don't have to, lower our standards to please the person in front of us because they're not willing to put in the work, or we don't have to, not be confident around someone that's insecure. Like, change your circle. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So my whole life, it's been that way. And that's why I'm so strongly connected with my brand. And anytime I wanted to give up, I'm like, no, there's a reason why I started it. This is my messaging. I know there's a ton of people out there that are too afraid to shine the way they are because they're too afraid of what others are going to perceive them as. And that shouldn't be the way that we live our lives. You have to be true to yourself. We only live once. We're here for a short time. Embrace who you are. God has given you a gift. You're here for a reason. You're surrounded by all these people who love you and admire you. Share your gift. Share your confidence. I love to see it. When I'm hiring someone, I hire on personality. I love this about you, Steph. Love your energy. I'm not afraid to compliment you because I'm confident in who I am.
Yeah.
You're not going to take my shine away from me just because you're confident as well. We can shine together. And that's what people are
pull
forgetting.
Of wanting to belong
Yes.
is so strong.
So strong. But you can
Isn't
belong
it?
with the right people. Just when you shine together, I promise you,
Oh, I agree.
you will feel 10 times more,
I agree.
rewarded in who you are as a person than when you're trying to settle in with a group of people that after you finish hanging out with them, you're drained. You know why you're drained? Because you're not being true to yourself.
Yeah.
You know why you're not connecting so much or why you're not moving forward? Because they're holding you back. They can see what you're capable of, but you're not able to see it yourself because you're too afraid of they might leave you. Let them leave you. You'll find a better group of people that will resonate with you a lot better.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I want.
Have you had to shed a lot of circles?
A lot.
Because
A lot. And it's really sad because I'm the type of person that I love holding on to relationships for as long as I want. It's hard for me to let go because I connect with you. We share so many memories, and I'm like, I feel really sad when we have to go our separate ways. But then I had to learn the hard way. Like, the longer you want people to stick around and you're holding tight, the longer it takes you to move on to that next level. But as soon as I made that commitment to myself and I said, you know what, the people that love me and genuinely want to support me will come for this ride. And I will know they want to see me win because they will be supporting me. But if they're not adding any value to my life the same way I'm adding value to their life, then it's time to move on. And it's okay. It's okay. I wish them well and I spread love everywhere. There's no hate, but you just have to move on and you grow. And as soon as I did that, I swear, it's like the universe just opens up for you and you get all these amazing opportunities. You meet all these incredible people and you're like, oh my God.
I agree, because when I feel sometimes I have these moments where I just reflect back, or I just think back to like what it what it was back in the day. Back in the day. I thought it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think about my life now, and it's
Mm.
so peaceful.
So peaceful.
It's peaceful not because I'm choosing to ignore
Mm.
people, but like I'm just so focused on what I'm doing
Yeah.
that I'm not caught up in the little dramas of,
No.
oh, did you see the way this person typed this? Did you see the way this person?
Oh my God. Doesn't it get old?
Like, I'm sorry, thank you. You know, like, because I get people sometimes when they're so caught up in their problems, and I get it. You know,
Yeah.
everyone processes things really differently.
Mm.
But I also find there are moments where, yes, I'll be affected, but I move quick
Absolutely.
because I don't have time for this.
No.
Like, I've got a bigger mission, I've got a
Mm.
bigger purpose. I don't have time to
That's
focus
exactly
on
right.
small
When your
things.
purpose is much bigger than life
Yeah.
and you want to achieve that, you literally are able to disconnect so quickly. And you're like,
Yeah.
why would I waste my time listening to this gossip when I have other people
And it's
that I
not
want to
even,
help and
it's just
inspire?
subconscious. It's just
Totally.
like,
No.
yeah, okay, and what? And they said this? Okay, cool. Like,
Let them say.
yeah, like they
Yeah.
made this comment? Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
got things to do.
Absolutely.
Can't
She's
be
booked and busy.
on this. Yeah.
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 I love it. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Peace is the new bag. Let's be real. Who wouldn't want the peace? But people just assume, oh, you're protecting your peace. You just don't want to hang out. Like, no, I want to
No.
do
Actually,
something
don't have
bigger.
time for you.
But yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Because you want to do something bigger for yourself.
Yeah.
And if they're not changing their lifestyle
Yeah.
and want to grow, then you can continue doing what you're doing. And that's okay. But
Yeah.
we just don't have to coexist at the moment.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's the thing as well. It's like when you try to really force peace, it's
Yeah.
not peaceful.
It's not peaceful.
But when you just know what it is that you need to do, and
It's
you
an
exist
intention,
with
like
that
you said.
alignment and intention,
Yes.
peace comes.
It does come. And I'm protecting it.
What has building this brand taught you about yourself?
Whew. What has it taught me? It taught me a lot of things.
Yeah.
It taught me that I am stronger than I thought I was. It taught me resilience. I always thought I had it, but it really did teach me resilience. It taught me agility.
Love that.
It taught me to be out of my comfort zone and to be able to grow into the person that I'm meant to be, to take my brand to the next level, because I can't go in with the same mindset I started. I have to pivot along the way, and that's okay. That doesn't mean I'm not being true to myself. That just means I'm growing and evolving. Being comfortable in the unknown.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Take the risk.
My
Step
husband
into
and
it.
I were doing these questions yesterday, and we're like,
Yeah.
what's one emotion that we feel really uncomfortable with? And
Yeah.
we both agreed uncertainty.
It is.
Yeah.
It is uncertainty, but that's the main cause of stress and everything else, because we're so used to control.
Yeah.
But then if I think about how I was when I was younger, I was so spontaneous. I didn't care what was coming next. I'm like, this is so exciting. But now that we're older, going through everything or seeing how much the world has changed in a short amount of time, that has created uncertainty, whether we like it or not. So we feel the need to control the outcome so we're comfortable. But it's actually beautiful to not know what's going to happen next, because we're so focused on what we're doing. But it does come every now and then.
But
where you're
even
just
that
like,
should be a perfect example of proof that we're so capable of
Totally.
adaptation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I probably had the best time in my business towards this end of this year.
Yeah.
Like everything just happened at once, but it's because I said it loudly. I was just like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm focused on. This is how I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to step in. And because I said it with so much conviction and so much, the voice from within out, it just happened. And it was one thing after another, after another. And then that's proof that once you set your intention and,
Yeah.
you just have to go with it. And I have to trust myself, regardless of what I think the outcome is going to be. I have to invest in myself constantly, whether it's monetary or self-development, whatever it is, and just keep going, because there's always something to learn along the way.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Don't be afraid to learn from somebody else that's doing better than you. They're not competition. You're learning. They can learn from you as well. And you can work together and, take that next step. So I've learned a lot and I'm still learning. As soon as you stop learning and you think you know everything, that's it.
That's
Just
it.
don't worry about it. Just stay at home and,
Just get a full-time job.
just get a full-time job. Exactly. You just have to keep going. That's what I learned. Like, no matter how much emotion you're feeling through the process that you're going through or the waves, you just have to be, or teach yourself to be mentally unstoppable, where you're just like, I'm just feeling tired. I just need to push through. I know I can push through. If you need to take a rest, but but that doesn't mean that you can't be, move forward and do what you need to do, because every delay will delay you as well. So,
But I also think that there is the thing, right? Because
Totally.
everyone thinks it's black or white.
It's not.
I'm either like fully confident or I'm not confident.
Nope.
If I have a moment of doubt, it means that I'm not confident anymore.
No.
No, life is so dual. Life is so, there's so many paradoxes.
Totally.
Just because you're confident doesn't mean you can't feel doubt and fear.
Exactly.
Just because you are working on this project doesn't mean you can't do other projects. Or just because you are working on this project doesn't mean that you doubt that the project won't work out.
But
They
people
too
don't
can
realize,
exist.
like, it can take you to another different direction. Just because you started doing, let's say, a podcast or a cosmetics brand, it might take you to a completely different career path.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You just have to see where it takes you and just go with it. Enjoy the journey, I would say. Have fun. Don't forget to have fun. We take it too seriously sometimes. We're so stiff.
How do you have fun?
How do I have fun?
Yeah. How do you remind yourself to have fun? Because I know a lot of people say that, like, enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Have fun. But sometimes that grip of control or controlling the outcome and wanting for it to succeed really does take the fun out of it.
It does. It does. And I've been so stiff for so long. Like, it needs to be a certain way. It has to be like really professional. I want it done right. But then I'm not like, I'm a balance of both. I'm a balance of professionalism, but I also like to have fun. And I guess this year has just taught me, like, do the photo shoots, post that fun video. They're not going to think you're not like professional just because you're having fun. Like, let your fun side show as well. And the more I leaned into that, the more fun I'm having doing all this,
Yeah.
So that's how I have my fun.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you spoke about purpose.
Yes.
I think this is a really big loaded word, purpose.
Yes.
Is purpose something that you find, or do you think it's something you find along the way of doing?
I don't think purpose is something you find, because if you're looking for your purpose, which I've done before, so I'm speaking from experience, you'll be looking a really long time.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I like this, but I also like this, but I don't know, is this what I'm meant to do? Is this my purpose? But you go into the spiral of trying to find what it is that is your purpose. But I think you find it along the way of doing different things that resonate with you and align with you. What brings you the most passion? What brings you the most alive? Like, what do you feel when you're doing it that it's not even work? So for me, my whole life, I'm like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? But when I settled and, everything just became calm and steady, I was like, okay, I'm selling my products. I know how people want to feel. But then I realized, when I'm connecting with others, when I'm putting a smile on their face, when they're walking away feeling so much better and more confident, that's my purpose.
Yeah.
It's that connection. It's that, like, I know you can do it too. It's instilling that belief in you. It's, I don't know, having that like fun interaction. Tell me about you. Like, I am interested. You do matter. That is my passion. Put me in front of thousands of people. I can talk for hours, not get nervous. You know what I mean? But if you tell me go do something else, I'd be like, oh my God, I don't know what this is. But it's just that interaction, that connection.
And you only found that through actually taking so much action that you're able to then take a moment, zoom out, and find the commonality.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because I tried different jobs. I tried, doing things differently. But then the one thing that remained consistent, or that made me feel the happiest when I'm doing it, was people.
Yeah.
The connection.
I love that that's how you discovered it, because that's also how I discovered mine.
Oh, I love that.
But it's in the moment. And especially when you're young, you're like,
totally,
what is the right decision? I need to find the perfect job, the right job, because I can't change. And honestly, like, and I've said this before, the longest job I've had is 3 years.
Yeah.
I have not been able to hold a job.
Same.
Like on average, maybe a year, right?
Yeah.
But I found that when I'm working for myself, when I'm working on projects, like
Yeah.
I realize what is it? I can't be in a box. I'm very fluid.
Totally.
Like I just love doing multiple things.
Yeah.
And that used to be something that I was really ashamed of. But then
Yeah.
because I was trying and taking action,
Mm.
so much action,
Yeah.
like the more that you compress that into a short time frame, you
Yeah.
can have the ability to zoom out and find the consistent
Totally.
theme,
Totally.
and that is your purpose.
And what a blessing it is that you were able to navigate through that and find out that this is truly what makes you happy, because a lot of people spend their whole life being in that box and thinking,
Because
maybe
they're not
they-
taking a lot of action.
correct. Or maybe they're thinking, maybe I shouldn't be, or
Yeah.
I shouldn't be trying because that's how everybody has lived their life and that's normal. You're not questioning anything.
Yeah.
But you were like, no, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
You know what makes me happy? Why am I listening to you? Like, I know what brings me joy.
Yeah.
And as soon as you step into your purpose, you start to shine differently. You
Oh.
move differently.
Yeah.
You connect with people differently, you know, and you resonate. And I absolutely love that you're doing the coaching, to be honest. Like, I was like,
Thank you.
oh, this is so nice.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. I love doing the coaching, as well as a strategy piece that I do
Totally.
with my clients, because I just, yeah, that's the thing. Like, and I think at the start of this year, even last year,
Yeah.
like we put so much pressure on ourselves to label,
Pressure. Yeah.
to try and define
Yeah.
certain things.
Yeah.
And what I've actually really leaned into this year is going like, I don't really want to be defined by a title,
Exactly.
but I want to be defined by a function.
Yeah, correct.
What is the thing that I'm actually able to unlock or do
Yeah.
for someone,
Yeah.
rather than saying, oh, she is a ...
Yeah.
More, if you work with Steph, this is what she does for you.
Absolutely. And, you know,
And
a lot
that's
of
been the
people
pivot.
do need a coach in their life, or they do need someone that's able to guide them and show them the way, because we get so consumed by what we're reading on social media
Oh my gosh,
that
it's
we get
crazy,
so
isn't it?
lost in our true self. Like, who are we? We start to ask that question, who are we? What do
Yeah.
we even like? Are we liking what others are posting that's going viral? Then you start to forget who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So having someone like you that's resonating with, you know, their struggles that they're going through and able to show them the way without actually telling them what they need to do is so rewarding for them, because people do need that
It's
to
the biggest
break the
blessing.
cycle. They need to break the cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And business is self-development on drugs.
It is. I swear to God, guys, it's so, it is so much more rewarding than I'm just saying. The high, when you get some wins, it is, oh my God, probably the best thing ever. You're
Better
like,
than meth.
yeah, totally.
I don't know. It's fun. I don't know.
You're just like, give me more. Like, I want to maintain this high. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like the thing that also shows you so clearly your current ceilings,
Totally.
your limits,
Yeah,
your fears.
totally.
Like,
You have to face yourself first, though.
oh,
If you don't face yourself and like acknowledge your fears, your passion, your love, and everything else,
yeah.
you're not able to do what you do best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
I love it.
I started this podcast because, well, actually it's evolved as we know. It
Yeah.
started from I'm figuring it out to we figured it out now. It's massive achievement. But the reason why I am so obsessed with achievement is because it's so personal, and
Yeah.
it's something that evolves, I feel, in
Totally.
and like so many people are really high achievers
Mhm.
in their own way. Once they like really fully embody themselves, I feel
Mhm.
like that's where true fulfilled achievement comes from. So for you, as we wrap up this podcast, what has achievement meant to you in the past?
Yeah.
What has a definition changed, or how has a
Mm.
definition changed over time? And what do you feel achievement is meaning to you now moving into the future?
Oh, good question. Achievement in the past, I think for me was instant gratification.
Yeah.
I'm like, amazing, I got the sale. It's like the numbers game. You're
The
like, okay,
outcome.
yes, it's always the outcome. I'm always like, excited about that. But I guess through my journey of building Klas Cosmetics, I think my achievement now is being patient with the process, because I never was patient. And when you're a high achiever, you're like, okay, what's next? Let's go, let's go, let's go. But the process now that I'm currently in has taught me patience, because when you're patient, you're able to make something so beautiful and more meaningful when you take your time, because it allows you to see it for what it really is, and it allows you to really understand where you're trying to go. So then achievement, now that I've learned patience, is okay, now I'm able to implement better. My vision is a lot more I've got more clarity.
Yeah.
And I'm able to take it to the next step that it needs to. And I feel like I am ready as a person as well, because I've given myself that self-development and,
Yeah.
everything, all the skills that I need to take me to that next level. And I feel like I'm ready. So that's how I came about the first
That's so
full
beautiful.
circle.
That
Yeah.
is so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank
It
you for
was so
having me.
incredible to hear your story and the journey. And I think so many people listening to this who have an idea and wants to start something,
Mhm.
it's just so relatable.
Guys, just do it. Promise
Just
me.
do it.
Just do it.
Face the rejection. You just
Yes.
got to keep being consistent. There's going
Rejection
to
is
be a
part
moment.
of the game.
Exactly.
It really is. It's part of the game. Just take the rejection, and it does build that resilience, and it builds
Yeah.
your confidence. And never settle.
Yep.
Stay true to what you are, is what I'll say, and never change.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yay.